Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome. I know some people are here, so let's just wait for the eyeballs to pop up. And let me get back over to comments. I saw Marlene was here. Awesome. Cindy's here. Yay. Okay, so we got eyeballs, two sets of eyeballs, and I'm assuming that everything's good, that you guys can hear me because I haven't changed the settings of anything this week. But sometimes you never know, right? Okay, so welcome if you're new here. I appreciate you being here. If you are returning, I love you too. I appreciate everyone being here. Um, I do know, everybody, we only have so much time, so I really appreciate if you're going to spend it with me. I hope you enjoy it. So my name is Toni Tesler. ToniStamps is my channel. I am currently a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. It's been going on 26 years now. I like to make all sorts of things out of paper. So cards, scrapbooks, like mini albums, journals, boxes. I love boxes, bags, tags, like all the thing. If it can be made out of paper, I'm all about it. So that's what we do here. A little bit of everything. In particular, this week we're going to be finishing an album that I started last week. So in the description of the video, I have a link to last week's where we made the base. Like we covered the chipboard, we assembled like the spine and the covers, got those together, started adding the pages inside, and then we're going to build off that today. So I just have a couple things that I want to talk about. So just say hi. Hey Debbie, awesome. Um, I hope my nose doesn't want to run. I've been so good all week. So thanks, Marlene. Awesome. So let's just talk about a couple things and then we're gonna get to it. First of all, so the product of the month. So Stampin' Up! Started this in December actually. And I wasn't really interested in the December one, but basically it's you order $75 worth of stuff before tax and shipping, but after any rewards come off, so your Stampin' Rewards that you can use. If that total is 75, hey Cruise, then you can order the product of the month for $5. They are always while supplies last. Like I said, they do still have the paper pack left from December, so that'll just stay up as available till it runs out. The January one, I told myself I'm not going to get all these extra stamps that, I can't always demonstrate with, but I love the fonts on this one. So this is, was it Fabulous Sayings? And just look at the fonts on those. I love the cursive, the bigger cursive mixed with the smaller print. Like I like the mix. So I'm gonna have fun with that. And I just got that today. Like, yeah, my order finally came in. I don't know how, I know I have showed you guys a way to organize these as far as stamping the images. I might change my mind on that. Like, I might get into that next week. I do like stamping the image, and let me just show you what I mean. So like on this one, when you take it out and open it, I stamped an image. This is the part I don't like, is that I taped my plastic to each other, like to both sides, and then I have to do this every time. I have to carefully peel it back. Ah, and then you can see like here's the stamps, and then I flopped it over and stamped it on this side. So I may continue to do that, but I don't think I'm gonna tape the plastic to the paper anymore because that's just, I don't like fighting with it. And I use the tear and tape, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to just peel this off without ripping it. But so that's what I mean, but I might change it. So, hey Lisa, confirmation that Fabulous Sayings along with the rest of your order has shipped. Awesome. Yeah, mine was I guess I ordered that last week and it seemed like it was, hey Gloria, it seemed like it took a long time to ship. So they must have got behind. Hey Jamie Gibbs. So yeah, that's that. That's the January product of the month. I love that. I'm gonna be using that some. Other announcement. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, we got word Stampin' Up has come up with a new stamp positioning tool. Remember we had the Stamparatus and that had the hinges, like the two plates that you could, you know, put different images on. I love that. I still have my Stamparatus. I also still have my Misty, which I love. I love both of those. I like the hinge part. So this new one is it's a press down thing. So I know Spellbinders has something similar. Like it's a plate. I'm going to share a video tonight or tomorrow. It's a plate and then it has the cover thing, like your what you put your stamps on, and then you just put it in the two, like there's two pegs that stand up on the ends. Like I'm not a real big fan of what I've seen for $50. I think it's a little much for what it is. Plus I still have the other one. So if you don't have a stamp positioning tool, take a look at it, see what you think, right? But I just don't feel like it's innovative. I don't think it's extraordinary. Um, those are my thoughts. So demonstrators can pre-order it. Um, and then they're going to have a special next month. So anybody that gets a starter kit from February 3rd to March 2nd, you're going to get it free in your kit. It looks, yeah, Gloria, I'm just not sure. I mean, this one's $49. It's not that much more. I mean, much less. And it's got like cheaper parts and less parts. Like the Stamparatus was sturdy, right? And this thing has, it's got magnets. And the magnets are smaller. They look lighter. You don't have to worry about them clacking together. Hey, Deborah, and cracking. So they're not the same kind of magnet. I'm just, ugh. I'm withholding judgment. I mean, I say that, but like, I'm judging. I'll share the video and you think what you want, right? You take a look at it and form your own thoughts. So that's that. The other thing let's talk about is Super Bowl. So I posted my squares chart last Saturday, I think, and between Saturday and Sunday, we're mostly filled up. So I only have 29 squares left, the updated chart. I'm only putting that on my Facebook page. I'm not doing a blog post. I'm not sharing it because once it starts moving around, then people may comment and I don't necessarily see it in the right order. So I'm only updating and putting it on my Facebook page. So that actually, let's just go down here because I've got that. Gloria, you have two tools, the Misty and the SU other one. That's what I have. I have the regular Misty and then I have a mini Misty, which I really like because it's like just the size of a card front. And then I've got the Stamparatus. So, like, do I need yet another one? No. And if you've noticed, so if you guys follow any of the Facebook sales groups, there's, a bunch of different ones that you can sell your not old, but used stamps. Well, some people sell new stuff. Anyway, different Facebook groups. In the last 2 days, I have never seen as many Stamparatus machines up for sale than I have in the last 2 days. So, if you really wanted one before they ran out, you can get them. And they cost, I'm pretty sure it was $50 originally, and I've seen them 50, 70, 40, 90. Like I think the 91 included the little case that people could get with it. I don't know. I have mine. But just to let you know, like if you're looking for a stamp radish, you can find one now because it seems like all the diehards are dumping theirs off so they can get the new one. I'm just gonna keep what I have, right? So, Super Bowl squares. So I've done this. This might be the fourth year in a row now. I can't remember. So, Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th. What we do is we fill up the squares. So there's 100 squares here. They're $4 a piece. You tell me. You will comment on my the picture that I have posted, and you'll use these numbers in the little blocks, and you'll say, like I want 15 and 43, whatever. So during Super Bowl, this is just like any other squares that people do, the squares. Hey, Gail, we do prizes. It's $100 shopping spree, first, second, third quarters, and then the final score. So if it goes into overtime, it's the final score. If there's no overtime, it's still just the final score, not fourth quarter, because fourth quarter is not final necessarily. It doesn't consider overtime. So yeah, Lisa, so you got the case and the extra plate. So that's what I missed out on getting the extra plates when they had that. Yeah, and I can't find my grid paper, so won't want. But anyway, so $4 a square. I send you not an invoice, PayPal. You have to send it to me through PayPal, friends and family, so it doesn't take any fees off. Because I need the whole $100, 400 to pay the price of the things, because I'm paying the shipping and the tax on your order. So whoever wins, first quarter gets to pick $100 worth of stuff. And in previous games, there have been multiple winners. So like if the score ended up the same, and it goes by the last digit of the score. So if the score's 11 to 12, it goes by the last number. So whoever had like 1 and 2, then we go down and see, who won that. We don't pick the numbers here and here or the teams until this is all filled up. Okay. So we have another week and a half, and there's 29 squares left open. So I'll just be sharing this every couple days to fill it up. So that's that. And let's talk about so the kit that I'm using. Actually, here's what we did last week. So the link in the description takes you to the video where I made the base. So this is chipboard that I used. I used paper pumpkin chipboard. So every month, in our kit, we get that chipboard and the lining. I save all that. So we made this. I've got a hinge system. And then I used the two-tone cardstock to make these pages. So previously, I have always said, like, I don't know how I feel about using two-tone cardstock when I'm actually making albums. So this was kind of an experiment. So the way that I made these pages was I ended up folding this page, like gluing it together. It's folded in half. It made it so sturdy. Like, that's a little bit more sturdy than regular cardstock. So I love it. I will do this in the future, like make pages this way. I was not going to make pocket pages where you would like leave this side open so you could put something in. I didn't want to do that because I thought it would be too flimsy. So I guess I'll have to make something and try it just to see, right? But for now, as far as making the whole page with like 2 layers of two-tone cardstock, definite thumbs up. I like it. So I think I had only added a couple pages at the end of the video. And so I went back and, finished putting these in. I got a little bit off kilter. So like when you look at them this way, they mostly look straight. But like when we do it this way, this one in particular, it lands like way down here in the corner. It's not hanging off. And it's not like I'm selling this. I'm keeping it for myself. So it's fine. But what we're going to do today is finish adding designer paper. I'm going to make a pocket. We're going to do something on the covers. And then we're taking the rest of the stuff out of this kit. So all I added to this kit was some cardstock, the actual cardstock that I used to wrap these covers, and then these inside bits and the spine. Everything else. So we're going to pull out the die cuts, the stickers. There's some willow white cardstock. I'm going to make some photo booklets. So all that. I'm not necessarily going to keep these instructions because I didn't use the kit that way. So actually, I'm just going to throw this away. No need to keep it. All right, so covers. Let's start with that. Once I cut all my designer paper for the inside pages, which we'll get to next, I have 3 pieces left, 3 12 by 12 pieces. I have this one. I had this one. Oh, wait, I had 4. And then I had this one. So I wanted this one for my cover. And this is like real red with some flirty flamingo hearts. So I decided I want to do like complete layers. So we're going to start out with, again, I will have pictures and all the measurements of what we're doing today on my blog this weekend. And by the way, we're supposed to get a whole bunch of snow here in Maryland. So I'm probably going to be home all day Sunday. So I may do it Saturday, Sunday. Either way, it's going to get done. So covers. Let me just open this up halfway. So our album lays flat like this because I used the lay flat method. So I want to cover this part and then both of these, at least to start. So 2 pieces of Flirty Flamingo that are 5 7/8 inch tall by 8 3/4 wide. So our finished album, because I didn't trim down the chipboard, was 6 1/8 tall by 9. And then I did a 2-inch spine. So we've got our Flirty Flamingo. Then the designer series paper is 5 7/8 tall by, no wait, lie, 5 5/8 tall by 8.5. So 2 and 2 of that. And then our spine piece, the Flirty Flamingo, 5 7/8 by 1 3/4. And then the designer paper, 5 5/8 by 1.5. So I already glued that together. So let me just glue at least one of these for the front cover. If you don't want to do the front cover and the back cover, you don't have to. I just I like them to be the same. And if I'm going to have something on one, I want something on the other. So that's just me. And some people, when they're doing their covers like this, they'll do different papers, like different whole things on the front and back. Eek, I cannot do that. I just can't bring myself to have it different. But if you're going to make your album, you will obviously make yours however you want. I just, yeah, can't do it. All right, so I'm going to do this one later. We're going to assume that that's going to be just the same. So let's put this on the front cover. Now, if you want to, I'm not doing ribbon handles because you don't need to. Like, see how nice this lays? It's not popping up. It's not like an alligator album. You can even sit it up. It doesn't need a closure. But if you still wanted to add one, you could. If you were going to add ribbon, I would do it right now. And I would attach it directly to this. And then we will add this cover layer. But like I said, I'm not doing it. I love this lay flat method because it really works. All right, so glue, glue, glue. And we are going to add more stuff to this cover. I'm just putting these pieces on for now. All right. Rub all over this. Burnish, burnish, burnish. You don't want any bits of this popping up. All right, and then we'll do put the spine cover on. Now the hearts do have a direction, so just pay attention to that when you're cutting. Gloria, you got your snow every day this week. Ugh. You got stuck in the driveway Tuesday and Thursday. Oh no, to get dialysis. Yikes. Yeah, my Dave went out today to get our prescriptions that were ready. But yeah, it's looking like we're probably going to get 8 to 10 inches or 8 to 12, something like that, like this part of Maryland. Oh, crikeys. That doesn't seem like the right length. 8 and... Eek! And now that landed right on my shirt. That seems like super long. Not 5 7/8. Okay, it is. It just looks like it's not the same. It's not. It's a smidge. That's gonna drive me crazy. All right. I'm gonna bring my cutter in here for a quick second. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut it. Oh, great. I'm gonna have to pull my arm off of there. So can anyone see I got glue there? Jeez. All right, this little sliver was gonna drive me crazy. All right, let's bring all this back in. Crikeys. More glue. At least with this glue, you can just redo this. Okay, this I'm happier about. All right, let's smash this down. Burnish, burnish, burnish our spine cover. If you don't want to cover your spine, then don't. You don't have to. I just kind of like it all same, same. All right, so that's our covers for now. I got a tiny little bit of glue here. And I will tell you at the end, I'm definitely using one of these giant doilies. All right, so now let's move to the inside. My ribbon keeps getting glue on it. So inside pockets. I like to have a pocket inside covers, front and back. So I took, after I cut all these pages, the two-tone cardstock for the pages, I had a whole pile left over of strips. So I took two of them that are the same, two of the Flirty Flamingo ones, and I cut them. And this is going to be like a gusseted pocket. So these are, let me turn my page to my notes and get this out of the way. So these pieces are 3 inches tall by 9 3/4. All right, and we're going to score it a 1/2 inch on this side, the long side, and that one. All right. And again, I did two because my album's going to be like the same front to back. All right, so 1/2 inch turn. And you could pick the darker side or the lighter side. I think I picked the lighter side. All right, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. All right. So I've got one for the inside front cover and then one for the back cover. So I'm going to put that away. Then I've got designer series paper, and I cut them both the same. This is 2 1/4 by 8 1/2. So we're going to trim off these corners. All right, and we can miter this tippy top one too. All right. So when we fold these, you have to be careful with the two-tone so that you don't crack it, because you don't want this edge to be cracked, because you will see it'll be white. So I'm just going to be gentle about this. I probably could have scored it a couple more times, but it'll be fine. Fingers crossed. All right, so we want to fold these in. Okay. Now, this is going to go right down here. All right. If you want to do a like a punch, like so you can, have a thumb thing there, like you can use a circle punch, or you can use, so here, like I keep this 1 inch circle punch. You could do a 1/2 inch punch here, half of your circle, or you can do your envelope punch board. And that's what I like. I saw this from a different designer and I just like it. So what you need to do is we need to find the middle of this area, and it's really easy just to pinch these together, line it up, like give it a little pinch. Okay, this is going to be our front. Flip this over, and you can do like a little, just draw a line on the back side. We want the middle of this line to go in the middle of this punch out area. All right, and that punches like a file tab. Then we'll do the same thing on our layering piece. You want to get to the middle, and I'm just gonna do a little line and put this right in the middle. I can barely see that, but let's hope it works. Okay. So I really like the looks of this over a circle punch. But either way, if you want to do a circle, same thing. Just make sure you're getting it in the middle and then on both pieces. So that layers perfectly. All right. This is this seems like extra long, but nope. Okay. It's right. You know, sometimes I just do all the math and I don't think like, oh, maybe I should double check that. Okay, so we're just gluing that on. And again, just give it a little burnish all around. Nice. So now we're going to glue this in. And I want this to go like as far to the bottom as I can. And well, actually I need to give it a little bit of space because I don't want it. It's hard to see where this edge goes, but I kind of want it centered in here, right? So I'm going to start with glue on the very bottom. And if you want to use tape for this, use tape. I'm just a big fan of the glue. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball this. Have it a little teeny bit up from the bottom and a little teeny bit in from the side. Okay, burnish this down. And now we can add glue to our flaps. So this style of pocket just makes the pocket a little bit roomier. Because ideally I want to create some photo booklets and have them in here. You have it plowed? Yeah, Gloria, we're on a stupid private road and the county does not plow. So most of the neighbors, there's only 5 houses back here, but most of them have snow blowers and they take care of it, but we don't. So we shovel our driveway and that's that. Okay, so pocket here, the same pocket will be here. All right, now I already went through and added all my pages and I did it so that it's going to be the same like front and back. So like these two are dark flurry flamingo. Then I've got the bubble bath. Then I've got light flirty flamingo or light and then dark, I forget what. Then this one in the middle is the poppy parade. So I went through, I had so much designer series paper from the kit. I think there was 9 or 10 pieces. So I took 7 and I just cut them so that I could cover the entire page to start out with. Just because I'm not trying to have leftovers from this, you know? So I just want to show you my front page and my back page are going to be the same. Then as we flip them out, everything is the same, right? These two, because I wanted everything symmetrical. Stripes, stripes, hearts, hearts, and then the red and red. So our pages ended up being like 5 3/4 by 8.5. So the designer series paper, and I'm going to cut this piece. We want 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 8 1/4. Now I say 2 just because that's what I'm cutting, but I really needed 14 because for 7 pieces, you know, there's 2 sheets needed for each side, right, of the 7 pages. Anyway, so 5.5 by 8 1/4. You want to pay attention to the direction of your pattern, right? Hey, die. So these flowers are going up. So I want to cut the 8 1/4 this way. All right. So let's do 8 1/4. I'm going to get it right. And then I'm going to turn it and cut at 5.5. And then I'm going to cut another one because the back page will be the same as this. All right, so putting this in my later pile. Then I have another scrap to add to my pile. And we'll just glue this in flat. So here's another thing about this album. I didn't do any, I'm not doing any like flips, flaps, you know, things that add extra page space because with 7 pages, this is already going to hold a lot of pictures. and I just didn't want to do that. I thought if we do it this way and just make the pages pretty with the designer paper and all of our ephemera bits, I think that would be easy. Like if you're a beginner trying to make an album like this, once you get the base of the album, you're going to be happy. And then we're decorating the pages. So like we'll have a nice album in the end. But I wasn't going for a lot of movement in this one, right? Because really, I figure, so there's seven pages, 14 sides. If we can get even 3 pictures on each one, 3 times 14, so that's 42. Like, that seems crazy. 3 times 14. Yep, 42 pictures, because I'm thinking, maybe a big one and then 2 little ones. And then we're also going to make our photo booklets for the front and back cover. So even more. So you've already got plenty of room for pictures. All right. So inside cover pockets, photo booklets. Okay. So in the kit we had, besides all the 2-tone cardstock and the designer series paper, there are, let me just pull all of this out. There are 2 pieces of willow white that are 12 by 12. All right, and oops, I want to get all these photo mats. I like that they have these photo mats because you can actually use them to put them in your album, or you can turn them over and just stamp on them or write on them, like use them, like regular just paper. All right, so photo booklets, put this, I'm just going to do 1 set. I want these to be, so our pocket here is 8.5 inches wide. And this is about, yeah, it's 6-ish. I want these to be like 5 by 6. So I want to cut this at 10 inches. Oops, that's a scoreboard. 6 by 10, because that's going to give me 2 out of each 12 by 12 sheet. All right, so let's first cut it at 10. And then at 6. All right. So we're going to have 2 pieces that are 10 by 6, and we can score these in half at 5. All right. So 5, 5. Oops. I went a little too quick, and my scoring tool jumped the line. All right. It'll be fine. All right. So these, I call them photo booklets, but you can also use them for journaling. All right. So let's fold these in half. Burnish. So you can either pictures or journal, but each pocket's going to get 1. The front and back pocket are going to get, 2, really. So they can go in, they have to go in like this, long ways, right? But I want to tart them up a little bit. So out of our leftover designer series papers, we have, I think this hearts is too much because I've already used that. And these are both some of the single-sided. This is the part that I did not decide on. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to do 1 in this one. 5 by 6, 5 by 6. Let me write this down. So since our photo mats are 5 by 6, our designer series paper, I'm going to do 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. All right. And I'm just going to cut it this way at 4 3/4, 4 3/4, and then 5 3/4, and 5 3/4. Because again, I'm cutting 2 because I want the one in the back to be the same. Okay. So let's just glue this on here. Yeah. So you could add, you could cover every bit of this photo booklet. Like this side, you could add something here, here, the back side. I'm not doing all that. I'm just gonna do something on the front. Okay. Burnish this down. And then for this one, let's see about piecing together some of these scraps on here. Because I didn't necessarily, I like that. I really like these. Okay. Let's do this one. And then I can cut little strips of, let's say, oh, the backside. All right. So whatever this is, widthwise, 3 3/4. All right, so 3 3/4. So it looks like I'm only going to need a 2-inch strip of this one. So measurements, DSP1, 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we'll have a 2 by 4 3/4. All right. Now I'm only doing this because I want to piece these pieces together instead of, just having one solid. I just want more patterns. All right, 4 3/4, 4 3/4. Put that away. And let's do, we said 2 inches. Yep. By 4 3/4. And 4 3/4. Okay. So something like this, I'm going to save it for now, just because I don't know how that's going to end up. All right, but now we can just glue these on here. Nice. Now, since I've got scraps left of the two-tone, I could also take a piece of that and like emboss it with something, like a heart folder. But let's just use up this paper, right? This pretty paper. All right, and I'm gonna butt that right up against that one. Perfect. All right, so now we can either add something to this seam if we want, but it's not the end of the world that you can see that there's a seam there, but I love it. All right, so here's our two of our photo booklets. And we are gonna come back and use some of our die cuts and stickers, things like that. Jamie Gibbs, yeah, I'm leaving this white. No, you're funny. I won't. All right. Another thing we can do with some of these leftover two-tone tags, let's actually do one with the bubble bath, is we can make tags. All right, so tags you can always use to either add more pictures, or you can do a picture on one side and journaling on the other. So we've got all these strips left that are 3.5 by 12. So we can just fold this in half and make a 3 by 6, but that's really too long, because our book, let's just flip it to this page. So we can't really go, 6 is going to be too much. All right. And I do want to just fold it and double it up. Well, you know what? Let's just do that. Fold it in half at 6. You can score it, or you can just fold it and push down. Should have scored it because that is ratty now, but that's fine. So again, I want to glue this together to make it sturdy, just like I did the pages. But I am going to trim the edge. And actually I can trim both the edges. It doesn't matter. Because gluing it together is going to make it the sturdy that we want. So let's just trim this down to, let's go 5 inches. All right. So here's our tag. If you want to angle the sides, I'm just going to eyeball. Okay. Trim that off. And then what you can do is take this bit that you cut off. So it came off from here. What you do is flip it over and just hold that in place. And you know what? I can do this with my scissors. Excuse me. Hold, please. All right. Let me just hold this down and trim. And this is just to make it like so your sides are the same. Some people have punches that will do this. And good enough. I like it. They have punches that'll do different corner things, corner rounding situations, but you know, you can just do that. Okay. So do we want to add another little strip of designer paper? So now we're just going to tart this up, but you know what? I'm going to leave this because I want to add some of the die cuts, but I do want to cut a hole in this. So whatever you want to, whatever hole punch you have, I happen to still have these trio of punches that are like perfect for tags. So I'm just going to punch that in the middle and then add some ribbon. So I've got bubble bath ribbon. This was actually from last year and it was in a 3-pack, but I'm using it up. All right, so bubble bath, and I'm just going to fish this through. So I'm taking the 2 tails and flipping them over and then through that loop. And then just pull that. If you want to add some 2 colors of ribbon, you could certainly do that. Add some baker's twine, like this. Let me show. Do I have? Oh, you know what? I've got linen thread. Yeah, let's just do that. So you can take a little bit of your baker's twine or linen thread. And this is the end of that roll. Man, I got a froggy throat today. Like I said, all week I've been good. All right, so we can just tie this as an extra little bit. And this looks pretty plain right now, but it's fine. We're going to add some stuff. Okay, and then tie this. So this is a really decent sized tag that you can definitely put a picture or something on. So the idea is bring this in and get a paper clip and you can just clip this in, right? You could have fancy paper clips. I think I've got some that are colors, but these are just plain. If you don't want to leave this plain, your paper clip, and actually I've got a big one here. You can decorate this. Ooh, yeah. All right, I like this. Let's take a little scrap. We're going to use this giant one. Find whatever scrap will fit. And we may use a couple. Actually, I'm going to use this piece right here. So I've made these altered paper clips for other things. So let's just take a piece of scratch of this paper, and this paper clip looks to be about 1 3/4 inch long. And I'm just going to trim this so it will fit right in here. All right, so Oh, look, perfect. Let's just give it a little bit more, a little trim. So I like to put this long side, so the opening is at the top. So just slide this in here. Ooh, I like that side better. All right, hearts. Slide this in here and fold it in half. All right, pinch that all at the top. And I like to glue this shut. Okay. And then we can add a tiny little bit of, let's tie, I want just a tiny little edge of this because I don't want to cover up so much of those big hearts. So I'm just going to put a little edge down here. Okay, and we're going to take a piece of ephemera and put right on here. Trim that. If you want to add ribbon to the edge of this, that's an option too. Let's just take a little bit of, this is real red shiny ribbon. All right, and we can, I like that. We can just tie it, right? Because this is just gonna hang off a little bit, just make it a little bit interesting. Okay, I like that. And let's just trim and trim. And then we can add a gem. So you just want to get whatever shiny bits you have. And I'm going to take some of these strawberry slush and pretty in pink. So I'm just going to add, let's do 1, 2. We'll do a big one in strawberry slush and then a little one in pretty in pink. Get that extra glue off. Okay, and then we can attach our tag just right to this page. Let that hang off. Ah, cute. I like it. Just a cute little something. We're gonna add more to that though. All right, so next on my list, two-tone cardstock for tags, and you could add more tags. So I'm just adding the one, but you could create a tag like this and put it in your pocket here, okay? Jamie, you know, I would put some hand-placed polka dots on the more solid strip of paper. Yeah, like on this one, right? This one or this one. But yeah, doodle to your heart's consent, right? Ooh, and I got an extra die cut. Ooh, I like that. All right, this was for something else. But anyway, you could make a lot more tags. Use leftover designer series paper on the pages. Let's go now to our die cuts though, because I want to show you how to use a lot of these. And I'm going to put all this away. So all these extra bits you can add throughout the album. I'm just setting them to the side. So these die cuts are really humongous, all right? Because they were intended for a 12 by 12 page. But we can use, let's punch stuff out like this. So the only thing that we're really not going to be able to use is this giant heart, right? This thing is really like a whole, that needs a 12 by 12. Let me just take this. So here we have a little frame and a journaling little square. So I'm going to find somewhere to put this. carefully punching these out. All right. Here's another one. Ooh, gathered together. And all these cute hearts and flowers. All right, so let's just punch out a couple of these so you get the idea. Oh, this is interesting. Are these welded together? Okay, yeah. So this cluster, it's just acting like it does not want to punch out nicely. So I'm gonna have to show it. Okay, I love that. All right, let's put that in the pile. Gathered together. And these are flowers and hearts. Ooh, I adore you. Definitely using that. I also have some of my heart punches. And so you could take whatever heart die, heart punch, hand cut stuff, and you can add. All right, so see these little chads on here? These little bits? I gotta get rid of those. That's the only thing I don't like about die cuts is when you have those little bits. All right, so let's use that heart. With all my heart, my sweet, I might use that, my sweetheart. I do like the love, but that love you is really ginormous. So I still may have some things left over from this kit, and that's fine. I'm gonna just put it in my Valentine drawer. My sweet. Let's punch this out. Because a perfect project will come along someday for some giant words. Ooh, you know what? I could make Dave a big box of treats and use this. I like that. Okay. Let's use some of these hearts. Man, they are in here. Ugh. All right. I want some of these hearts to show you how we can make like a nice little tuck spot on some of our pages. So I really want to have, like a little bit of tarting up of the pages, mostly leaving the room for the pictures that I don't have yet. Because I don't know what I'm putting in this album. All right, let's fix this. So something like this piece is going to be good. We could actually make this into a pocket. All right. And, these big arrows, you know what? I'm going to leave that. So then we have this sheet of stickers. All right. So we've got some borders down here that we can use. Stickers, like some more words. I love that little one, sweetheart. I like that, sweetheart. And the flowers. So let's just start with adding a couple. So this frame. All right, I'm going to put these on different pages. So let's go to this. So I want this is like the dark Flirty Flamingo. I kind of want it around this page because it looks like it's the same color. So I want this in the corner because I'm going to tuck a picture up under here. So what you want to do is just put glue like under here, right? Two sides and not the entire thing, just so you can tuck. So I've got glue here and here. So you can tuck your picture right up on there or under there. Right, let's just use this as an example. Slide it under here. Then when your picture's in place, then go back and just peel it up and add a little glue to the bottom. Okay, so cute. All right, for this, No, let's add this on a different page. Oh, and one thing I wanted to point out, this XOXO pattern, at first I thought, oh, it doesn't matter which direction. It does, because look at all the little hearts are facing the same direction. So just pay attention to that. All right, let's go to, how about this page? Ooh, I like that. Really like this too. So let's do right here. So I want to do a little pocket that we could make a little tag or something could be tucked into here, just like that. Or actually a journaling thing could just get tucked in there. So in this case, you could do a tuck spot, right? So that you could tuck something in like anywhere, but I do want a pocket. So we're going to put glue down 3 sides of this. And then I'm going to glue that down. All right, and then we can take, let's just use one of these as a holder, like our photo mats. Ooh, you could add a couple of photos on this, just tuck those in, or you could have journaling, right? You could have a whole other piece. I just dropped something. Ugh. Oh, these big ones, 4x6. These are too big, but look at that. We could fold this in half. Burnish this, and you could tuck this in there as well. So, so tuck spot. The other way you can make a tuck spot, take a cluster of these hearts. Let's use this one. And so remember, we've got this paper clip on this side. So that's fine. So you can always just tuck things under on that paper clip. But when you pull this paper clip off, then this would fall. So let's just let's make our tuck spot down here. And what we want to do is just glue it around like one side. All right. Right, like that. That's fine. And then we can take some of these other ones, like, ooh, right here, and we can just put it right on top. Now, you can pop things up in this book if you want, because we haven't really added a whole lot of bulk. There's no bulk on this. So let's just pop this up. And is that gonna fit? Yeah, good enough. All right, now I just want to make sure that the dimensionals don't cross over the edge of that, because otherwise it would glue it right down. All right, let's do that. I love it. And yeah, let's just leave this here. So that little journaling bit could be a picture. We could, put this here, but let's just put it right there for now. I love that. All right, what else do I want to do? Okay, punch out extra hearts. So you can take any heart punch, like I said, that you have, and take some of your scraps, whether it's cardstock or the designer paper. And I'm just going to grab this one. So this is one of the one-sided. So just punch some of these. Oh, and then you could add, let's go flip to this one. Ooh, okay, good choice. So this page, this has the same print. So let's do a cluster. Let's do this and right here. And I'm just going to glue these down flat after I pick this glue booger off. But then that ties in that pattern, that designer paper. So lots of ways that we can add these bits. And you can go to the very edge of your page, but you don't want to cross the line, right? The end of our page for the spine, the hinge, whatever. I like that. And ooh, I adore you. So this right here, I'm only going to put glue on the tippy top because this can be a tuck as well. All right, let me just glue that carefully. So a top tuck lets you glue it just on the top, and then you can tuck stuff up under here. All right. So that's cool. All right. Let's add something. Ooh, yeah, my sweetheart. My sweetheart. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this edge off. I like that. All right, because I feel like I want another heart here. So my sweetheart. I love this. So I'm just going to glue this down flat. And putting that there. And then I feel like we could have some of these little hearts. Or we can add this one. All right, this will work. Let's do that. And then I can pop this one up with, is the dimensional going to fit on there? Yeah. Ah, cute. All right, we can add some gems or something, but all right, we can have that. Really cute. All right, we can also add things to our pockets. All right, also got some flowers. So let's take some of these flowers. And, ooh, that's the same color, so that's good. And I'm just putting this flower down flat. And let me add another one of these. And, ooh, this little heart one. Oh, for cute. All right, let's do this. This one down there with the heart. And no, I don't like that. This has to go somewhere else. All right, I can go there for now. And then you could add something here. You could have a picture, you know, another little bit, like something. Journaling. Love bug, my best friend. You are loved. All right, I'm going to put that right there. Nope, I'm going to put it right here. Because I kind of want to leave this area open that I can put something, like right there. But I love this so far. Okay, now, cover. Because it is 9 o'clock already. So I wanted to put a little something on the cover. Where'd that go? So, doily. These are the lovely doilies. They are Bubble Bath and Real Red. And I love these really giant ones. So the Bubble Bath is like a little bit too light. So I'm doing the red. And then we're just going to add, ooh, you know what? We can do a pink one too. We can do a smaller one. Yeah, Jamie, in the corner, right? All right. So I just want to look at, all right, I love that. Which stickers and or die cuts I still have available. Oh, you know what? I still think this Love You is too big. Oh, that's that. It is. But you know what? We can use this big heart or this big arrow and some of the hearts. Because, you know, I don't know. This is just going to be like a love album. I don't know that we really do much of anything for Valentine's Day. I mean, we try to go out to dinner, but you know, it's usually crowded. Like, we're not waiting 3 hours to go sit somewhere. All right. So maybe that. And, ooh, yep. All right. So this might do one heart. Is this going to be like too crazy? Ooh, where'd that heart go that I die cut? I don't know how I feel about that. I think this is too much, but I do like the heart. I do like both of the hearts. Yeah. This was a special day, what I love most. All right, I'm going to go with this. I'm doing the doilies first. I don't feel like I have to hit every single spot, but I do want most of them because I don't want this to come up. All right, and in the middle. All right, this will be good. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Definitely like the two of them. I am very happy with this size of album. Like using the full chipboard pieces from the paper pumpkin. So I will be making more of these for sure. You know, like this size. And I like it opening on the side. Okay. Ooh, I do like that. And all right. Oh, you know what this was from was when I made a shaker card. All right, it's putting that there. Excusey. This here. Oh, I like that. Then, Sweetheart. February 14th. Ooh, you know what? We belong together. That is perfect. All right, let's add a little bit of glue to this. And eyeball, make sure that's kind of straight-ish. Okay, I love it. All right, let's put some gems on it. So this one, let me use the gold gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, do I have 7? Yeah, should have looked at that first. Because if I didn't have enough, I would be mad. All right, ooh, yeah. Because if you're going to use 3, you might as well use 7. And another little one. Oops, that is going to stick to my finger. Okay, I am happy with that. All right, let me get my glue in. So, you guys, I hope this gave you some ideas of, you know, I know we didn't decorate every single page, but I love it. But yeah, I hope you got some ideas of what you could do with this. So see how this pocket really is roomy. Like I could fit more stuff in here and then maybe it wouldn't try to fall out. So I may add another tag or something just to try to bulk up this pocket because that is really more roomier than I expected. But yeah, I'll go through and add some more things like, you know, off camera, just a little something to every page, but just a little something like that, like cute. You don't need a ton of stuff because remember, you want to have room for your pictures because they are the focus. Love it. I love this. Oh yeah, we wanted to add a little something to that though. Let's do that. go to the stickers. Fun times. I want something that's just gonna fit there. Ooh, XOXO or love you. And a little heart. All right, love you. Just gonna put that right there. And then one teeny tiny little baby heart. Let's do that right there. Okay. So that is so cute. I don't know if you can see it, but we've got the gems. Oh, whoopsie. The edge of that is, of course, right at the gem. It's fine. But cute. Then we've got that. Could put a little something. And you know, this could go right on like one of these pages and have the picture right here. All right, I'll have to keep that in mind. So yeah, definitely will be making another album like this. And of course, I'll add the other stuff on here. So yeah, I am glad that you guys are happy with this. Can't see the red one. Oh, you can't see like the red doily? Or was that talking about this one? Oh, that, hopefully that's what you meant. Yeah, these pockets are really roomy. Okay, now I am losing my voice for sure, so that means it's time for me to go. Cray cray adorbs. Thanks, Jamie. I know you would love it. Yeah, so I'll get pictures. I'll make some more, finish some more of the pages and do pictures this weekend and post that when I'm in here avoiding the snow outside. So thanks again for spending time, you guys. Next week, I'm going to be doing something with the new bug papers. Like, I didn't get the new bug set, but I like the papers, and it's going to go with other stuff that I have. So, yeah. Thanks again, you guys, and I'll see you later.